And in the early days, everybody knew, though, Bitcoin was supposed to be money for the world. Bitcoin was supposed to be used for payments as peer-to-peer cash for the world. And that's how people were using it. And, I was doing payroll in it, and I was paying my suppliers overseas. I hosted the first Bitcoin meetup ever in China about it. Like, I was really doing my best to spread this all over the world, including, paying for national radio ads for it. Like, it was really, really spreading. But then later, in, I believe, 2012, a person using the name John Dillon, who claimed to work for intelligence, spent more than $10,000. I forget the exact amount, but a significant sum of money to start producing propaganda to trick people into thinking that by keeping the blocks on Bitcoin small, it would make it more decentralized.
The story of Bitcoin's transformation is a tale of ideology, power, and control that reaches far beyond mere technology. In its early days, Bitcoin represented a radical departure from traditional financial systems, offering a glimpse of a world where money could flow freely without government oversight. This vision attracted early adopters who saw the potential for a new kind of financial freedom. But as Bitcoin grew in popularity and influence, powerful forces began to take notice, setting the stage for what would become a fundamental battle over the future of digital currency.
I was the first person in the entire world to start investing in the Bitcoin ecosystem and investing in businesses that made it easy for people to use Bitcoin as money and as cash for people all over the world. And I was promoting it since 2011 as, hey, stop using the US dollar, stop using euros, stop using yen, start using Bitcoin.
The early Bitcoin ecosystem was characterized by a spirit of innovation and experimentation. Businesses were beginning to accept the cryptocurrency for everyday transactions, and a growing community of developers was working to make Bitcoin more accessible to the average person. This grassroots movement represented a direct challenge to established financial institutions and government control over monetary policy. The promise of Bitcoin wasn't just about making money through speculation, it was about fundamentally changing how people could conduct commerce and store value. However, this revolutionary potential soon attracted attention from those who saw it as a threat to existing power structures.
Nobody believed the propaganda initially, but then later, this giant wave of censorship took place. Anonymous people that nobody knows their real names managed to get control of all the main discussion platforms for Bitcoin. And then suddenly, one day overnight, nobody was even allowed to advocate for Bitcoin being used as money. And they censored anybody that tried to do that. And initially, everybody saw through it.
The systematic transformation of Bitcoin's narrative happened gradually but decisively. What began as subtle changes in how Bitcoin was discussed in online forums soon evolved into a complete shift in the cryptocurrency's perceived purpose. The original vision of peer-to-peer electronic cash was being replaced by a new narrative that emphasized Bitcoin as a store of value, digital gold rather than digital cash. This shift wasn't merely semantic. It had profound implications for how Bitcoin would develop technically and how it would be used by the growing cryptocurrency community. The changes were implemented through a combination of technical decisions and careful control of public discourse.
The main people that are out there promoting Bitcoin, they literally say, oh, Bitcoin shouldn't compete with the US dollar. Bitcoin, you shouldn't use it as money. You shouldn't use it to pay for things. Like, Bitcoin is just a digital asset. You should just hold it. And it's the exact opposite. They've through the censorship and the propaganda, they've literally hijacked Bitcoin. And I literally wrote an entire book about it.
The mechanics of this transformation involved a sophisticated campaign of control over the main channels of Bitcoin discussion and development. The shift didn't happen through open debate and community consensus, but through careful manipulation of the platforms where such discussions took place. This change in narrative was accompanied by technical decisions that would fundamentally alter how Bitcoin could be used, moving it away from its original purpose as a payment system and toward its current role as a speculative asset. The implications of these changes would ripple throughout the entire cryptocurrency ecosystem.
So there were two main discussion platforms where everybody was talking about Bitcoin. And that one was called bitcointalk.org. And then another was Our Bitcoin on Reddit. And everybody was busy talking about Bitcoin in those places. And the same anonymous individual managed to get moderatorship position or ownership of both of those forums.
The impact of these changes became increasingly apparent as major companies began to reevaluate their relationship with Bitcoin. What had once been a promising new payment system was becoming increasingly difficult to use for everyday transactions. The technical limitations imposed by the new direction created practical barriers to Bitcoin's adoption as a currency, pushing it further toward its new role as a speculative investment vehicle. This transformation had far-reaching consequences for businesses that had begun to embrace cryptocurrency as a payment method.
What's not seen is what it could have been if companies like Microsoft and Expedia and these other big companies around the world didn't have to stop accepting Bitcoin because of its slow transaction fees, slow transaction times, and unreliable transactions, and lack of privacy as well. So it's really disappointing.
But beyond the disappointment of lost opportunities, there's a deeper concern about the future of financial freedom in a world where Bitcoin's promise is being overshadowed by increasing centralization.
I'm really afraid that they're literally building the financial prison walls around themselves. Like if you look at what's going on in El Salvador, everybody's excited about Bitcoin there, but they're all using custodial accounts that the government can see every single transaction you're making, and they can freeze your account at any time. That's the exact opposite of economic freedom.
The implications of Bitcoin's transformation extend far beyond the cryptocurrency itself. This shift represents a broader pattern in how revolutionary technologies can be co-opted and redirected from their original purposes. The story of Bitcoin's evolution from a tool of financial freedom to a surveilled and controlled asset serves as a warning about the constant tension between innovation and control. As cryptocurrencies continue to evolve, the lessons learned from Bitcoin's transformation become increasingly relevant for future developments in digital finance.
And in fact, today, I would be embarrassed to promote, I am embarrassed to promote Bitcoin to people today because the transactions are slow, expensive, unreliable, and you have no privacy. I'd be proud to promote something like a Monero or a Zeno or a Zcash or a Zcoin or any of these privacy tools out there, because those are the ones that provide more individual control to people.
The future of cryptocurrency stands at a crossroads. While Bitcoin's trajectory has been largely determined, new digital currencies are emerging that aim to fulfill the original promise of financial freedom. These alternatives represent a continuation of the original vision that inspired Bitcoin's creation, offering hope that the dream of truly peer-to-peer electronic cash might still be realized. The ongoing development of these alternatives suggests that while Bitcoin's original vision may have been hijacked, the underlying ideals continue to inspire innovation in the cryptocurrency space.
Cryptocurrency is an amazing tool for freedom around the world, and governments are the opposite of freedom. They don't like people having more freedom, and that's why they don't like cryptocurrency. And
All right, we've just covered a ton of territory. Let's take a second to recap and reflect. What we've explored today reveals a fascinating transformation in Bitcoin's journey, from its origins as a tool for financial freedom to its current state as primarily an investment vehicle. This shift raises important questions about the future of cryptocurrency and financial freedom. The story of Bitcoin's transformation serves as both a warning and a lesson about the challenges facing any technology that threatens established power structures.
we need to be really careful because, it could wind up that before we know it and before we realize it, we've built the financial prison walls around us and it's too late to get out and too late to escape.
So with all of that in mind, what do you think? Has Bitcoin strayed from its original purpose? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.